Hack/Haunted by Super Lego Boy 101. I'm an avid fan of the Pokemon series, and I was heartbroken when my DS had broken. It was 2010, and I wasn't able to get Pokemon Black or White, or at least in a language I'll need Google Translator to decrypt. But alas, I did what I had to and downloaded an Emerald ROM onto my computer. Finally, when it did load, after what seemed like an eternity, I then opened it. A wave of nostalgia then came over me. "Do you like it, Charlie?" my mother asked me. "Yes, Mom," I said as I continued, fixed upon the game. It was a month later, and I was through the gyms and the Elite Thar. This was true, though the pile of homework I had every night was astonishing, as it was December and I live in New York, and playing in the snow does not amuse me. I then turned on the computer in my room, where I had the file, and began to play. It finally was at the end of I was at the end of the game, when things got odd. First, every now and then, I noticed NPC was missing. These included Mr. Briny, who I didn't really care for anyhow. What I did care about, however, is that all my Pokemon were gone. Knowing of strange occurrences like this, I asked my mother if anyone had been in my room between now and yesterday. She said that only I had been there. Secondly, scripts and warps had been rewritten or just gone altogether. This, frustratingly enough, kept me from healing or getting Pokemon from the PC. So I searched the internet for answers. I went to Google and searched Pokemon ROMs. Didn't know of hacks at the time, however, I wish I did. What I found, however, shocked and awed me, for it turned out hacking ROMs was as easy as pie. I then realized that I had one friend who could do this. His name was Aston. We had first period together. So I asked him that. "I didn't do it," he answered, "but I'd be obliged to assist you." He was smart and from the South. After school, he came over to my house. There were only 5 days till Christmas break, so we worked quickly. Here it is," I told Aston, trying to make my miserable excuse for a computer look good. He, however, saw through it. Could you get me some sweet tea?" Aston asked me. In his usual southern drawl, he talked to him. I agreed. After that, I went to the kitchen to get it. Strangely, I heard laughter. When I finally got in my room, I asked him what he was laughing about. I laughed at how easy it was. To hack it. Aston answered, as if he had something to hide. On another note, "Where's my darn sweet tea I asked you for earlier?" "Oh, here." I handed him the tea. "Thank you, Charlie," he said to me before he took a sip. "Now leave me to my work, will you?" For hours he worked on it. And said that I should wait for a while before doing anything on it. "How long would you say?" I asked curiously. "If you're curious, it should take a month or two," he had told me as I escorted him out of the house. I didn't know much about computers back then, so I didn't ask why. A month later, I started it again. As it turns out, it got worse. Not only were the things that I had discussed earlier the town's tiles were mixed up, I now know that was probably because the pallets were switched. these things were nearly as scary as what I found later that day. While I was in the Battle Frontier tournament, each trainer sprite looked less and less complete. Round by round, one by one, the limbs were gone, and in the semifinals, and in the finals, the opponent, I and my Pokemon were reduced to heads. This, however, scared me. The next day was a Saturday, so I biked a mile uphill to Aston's house. After I got there, I could barely speak over my breath. "Is Aston home?" I asked his mother, huffing. "Yes, he's in his room. Come in," she told me. And after this, I barged in and climbed up the stairs to his room. Being his friend, I knew where he was. When I got in his room, I found him on his computer, working on what I believed to be my game. "Did you mess up my game while you were fixing it?" I asked solemnly. "Finally. It looks like the insidious fool figured it out," Aston said in a deep and overall unfriendly tone. "Looks as if you've seen through my ruse," he went on. "I can't believe you didn't see through my laughing while I was there. Now you'll pay," he said, while growling growing into twice his original size and throwing the computer to me. I swiftly dodged. "I see. It was you. I see. It was you. But one thing is left. How did you do so much at once?" I asked. "No matter," he said as he tried to hit me once more. I was terrified. As I dodged and ran out the room, I told his mother to look at the destruction.